Well, greetings. Today we're looking at Psalm 15. Psalm 15 is a great psalm. It begins with a couple of questions. Lord, who may abide in your tabernacle? Who may dwell in your holy hill? I want you to imagine for a moment the psalmist is asking the question, God, what matters to you? What's important to you? What do you really value? And then the answer, which is in verses 2, 3, 4, and 5, really focuses on one thing in particular, and that is how we treat people, how we deal with the people around us. If you look at the verses 2 through 5 in an overarching sense, really what they're about is the way we interact with people. And that's very significant because in some ways we might say, well, Lord, who can come into your presence? And we might think that the answer is going to be, well, the one who brings the greatest sacrifice, the one who is most careful to fulfill dietary laws, things like that. There's all kinds of answers possible. But the answer the psalmist, in a sense, articulates is what God really values is how I treat people. He who walks uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in his heart, who does not backbite with his tongue. He who does not backbite with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor does he take up a reproach against his friend, in whose eyes a vile person is despised, but he honors those who fear the Lord. He who swears to his own hurt and does not change. He who does not put out his money at usury, nor does he take a bribe against the innocent. In other words, he treats people well. He recognizes the value and the dignity of people. He's not taking advantage of people. He who does these things shall never be moved. Now, in the biggest sense, the answer to the question, who may abide in your tabernacle, the answer is none of us are worthy. So ultimately, the psalmist is really pointing us to our need, which is addressed throughout the scriptures in the person of Jesus Christ. The forgiveness that we can have through him and the righteousness, the right standing with God that we can have through Christ. But in a particular way, the psalmist is saying, God, what's really important to you? And the answer to that is people. You know, there's a connection between our vertical relationship and our horizontal relationships. Our vertical relationship, that which is maybe defined by our relationship with God, really what's part of the significance of that is seen in how we relate to the people around us. Jesus was asked, which is the greatest commandment? And he answered this. He said, the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God. He gave a vertical answer, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. But then he very quickly said this, the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. And it's almost like, as I look at those two commandments, it's almost like they're like the flip sides of a coin. To love God, you need to love people. There's a connection between the two. Somehow, as we relate to God, it changes the relationship we have with people around us, and our ongoing communion with God is reflected in the way we interact with people. May the Lord bless you. May you, number one, find right standing with God through Jesus Christ. He alone is the answer for us coming into the presence of God. But as you walk with him, may you also find a clean heart as you walk out the will of God, loving the people around you, serving the people around you, in a sense, really cherishing the ones whom God places in your life. God bless you.